the space shuttle that you went on, right? So you had you said the Columbia in 2003, right?
Hmm.
That when did that kind of like you were like, hold on a second, like I don't know, because I know it was 89 or 88 or something, whatever
Yeah.
what's it called,
Challenger.
the Challenger that just from the jump, but I think it was like a minor, not minor, but something like small. It was like obviously an accident for the Columbia, but like, did that deter you to be like, guys, I don't know if I want to do this anymore, or were you just like even more motivated to?
No, I think the motivation was there. I
Right,
can't say that all of a sudden it like, exponentially went up that, oh, I got to do this now
right,
more
right.
because that's what happened. But I don't feel like I went like, oh, I shouldn't do this anymore and then had to come back up. I think that was steady. I think it was always because I'd had that experience at Kennedy Space Center, I think, working, side by side with the people that, like, honestly, like for them, the care and feeding of those spacecraft is like what they
It's
are
like they're
about,
babies. It's
right?
like,
It
yeah,
really is. And so, there's that kind of passion, that kind of expertise in it. And I got to, through the astronaut office, got to see a lot more about how, NASA management and the contractors responded to that
uh,
accident and the
that's
way
important.
they addressed the problems that had happened. And that was whether that was a hardware issue or a management issue. Those always tend to kind of blend,
Right,
and
right,
things happen. We're people, and to see it was all taken care of. And I don't know what else could have been done to make me feel even more, more comfortable about it. It was
right.
just like being part of that, I think made it make sense that this was still something to do. I know every single one of those people on that
Oh,
space shuttle, like know them and know that they would have been like, holy moly, do not stop because of this, figure it out, keep
right,
going.
right.
So there are all those things. Now, that doesn't mean when you strap in, just even at any time, that you're not respectful of the 7 million pounds of
Right.
exploding
The
rocket
perspective comes
thrust
into
stuff underneath
play.
you that's going to get you off the planet. There's total respect for that. But yeah, I think you feel like you're in
Right. You're in
this
good hands.
yeah.
Right. Yeah. Especially since your experience, you've been with them for so long. Like you said, like it gives you that peace of mind. Like personally, for me, I've developed a fear of flying over the past like 5 to 7 years, just flying
Wow.
airplanes. Right. So I have terrible friends that send me gifts of planes crashing and just make when they know that I'm traveling, they're total asses. But
That could be the problem right
yeah, oh,
there.
big problem. But it's weird because I always find myself like looking for a pilot and I try to like pick their brain. Like I know that turbulence has never crashed a plane. I know all the stats. It's in my favor. Like it's not going to happen more than likely, highly more than likely. But for some reason, I get in my own head. So you know, uh, the fear of that alone scares me. So obviously, you would have to have like a fear of flying. But I think knowing these people, knowing how much they care, how driven they are, and how particular they are with their work, gave you that kind of like peace of mind of like I'm good. Like
Well, yeah, I think that really underlies it all. And then the other thing is that pretty much all the training we do is in one way or another about what could hit the fan.
right,
What
worst
what
case
is going to go
scenario.
wrong?
Right.
How, you're in the sim doing landings and all of a sudden they're throwing something at you, like, that's like the near death experience thing.
Right.
And so I think you get this kind of way about you as a crew that's like, okay, whatever humanly possible we can do
Right.
about the stuff that happens, we will do it.
Right.
And then, there's stuff that's
Out of your
it's
control.
always possible that you might not be able to take care of.
Right. Right.
But I mean, I watched in awe, like when on the space station where, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, some emergency alarm is going off on the station. I just was so proud to see how, as a crew, people are floating out of their crew compartments. You're making sure you've accounted for all your crewmates. You're getting to that control center on the
Mm-hmm.
station. You're working in a way that it's like you train like you fly like you train, and it works.
It's perfect.
And you're using the adrenaline for good,
Right.
and
Right.
then you're like, okay, you go back to bed, it's like maybe not as restful a sleep as it
Right.
was before, but it's like, holy moly, we just did that. We just, figured out that there wasn't a leak on the space station. Thank
Right.
you.
Yeah.
And took care of it. Yeah.
That's incredible. Yeah. So when you see everybody, that takes from all the time that you're spending together before
Yeah.
you go up there. That's why you're saying it's so important, and all the time that you spend on Earth training with these people. Because it's almost like a lot of military guys I talk to, and
Yep.
even cops and stuff I talk to, it's like I need to make sure that person's got my back and vice versa. So
Yeah.
you need to make sure that person next to you knows what they're doing and can pull their weight, so all you guys can work, together.
Yeah, it's so cool. I mean, I think
That's
about it.
awesome.
I always show that in my presentations to kids, actually to adults too. I always show this picture of our space station crew, and it's when we had one of those overlaps. So we had 9 people on board
Oh
because 3
wow.
had come up before 3 went home.
Mm.
And we're all in like our blue flight suits with our flags across the front, and we're in there's no up or down, so you're all floating around in these different positions. And we've got clown noses on, we're given the peace sign and stuff. It's like one of my favorite pictures
That's
on
cool.
station. And I show it because I'm like, these are the kind of people you want to work with, that you
Right.
want to be. I mean, wherever that you're working, space, anywhere, you want to enjoy yourself,
Right.
right? You want to have a good time. And yet you want to know when it does hit the fan, when the things don't go right, like they're not always going to,
Right.
that every single one of those people will have your back, you'll have theirs, they trust that you'll have theirs, and you just
Exactly.
do what you need to do.
Right.
Yeah, it's that whole, we use a lot of the same, like the SEAL mottos,
Yeah.
slower's faster, only easy day was yesterday. I mean, all these
Yeah.
kinds of things
Yeah.
that,
Well, it's true. That's a
it is, it's
mindset.
absolutely
That
true.
it's a mindset, and it works, especially in a group setting when you and other people have to rely on each other. It totally
Yep.
works. So
Yeah.
that's incredible.
Which is
That's
the same
cool.
as what we should be doing down here on this
I
planet,
know. I
right?
know. I know.
Just a
It's like,
bigger crew.
right. Yeah. Way bigger. Yeah.